Barcelona have spent 80 million on Anthony Gordon. And as much as I want to hate on this signing, and I still don't understand it, I will try to give my unbiased opinion on this. At the end of the day, I will give my honest opinion. Still, it is my honest opinion on this signing. It is still 80 million, 70 million with 10 million add-ons for Anthony Gordon to Barcelona. Barcelona get another attacker in. Is this really what they need? Is this really a, too much of an upgrade on Rashford? Did they need this signing for this much money? At this point, when he just got called up for England, does this make sense? Why does Flick want him? We will look at all of this, and please, if you're new to this video, subscribe. Now, let's get straight into it. The deal is here. Here we go. It was quick. This deal was really, really quick. The rumors came out maybe 2-3 days ago, and just like that, Hansi Flick has said, this is my guy. I need Anthony Gordon in my life, which I don't know, bro. Do I understand that? I don't think so. The official bid accepted now by Newcastle and the Saudi owner, 70 million fixed fee plus add-ons to bring financial package over 80 million for Newcastle. Gordon set to travel this week for the medical and the contract signing at FC Barcelona. I was shocked. When I saw this transfer, I was shocked. Not because of Gordon going to Barcelona, but because of the transfer fee of him going to Barcelona. I think Gordon can offer something great for Barca as a pressing forward. I think he will score more goals than in the Premier League because La Liga is just much easier, especially defensively sometimes against the teams that don't particularly play the lower block, as many teams do. But I think Gordon will have success in La Liga. But is this the signing that will get you over the line in the UCL? Like, Barcelona fans, if you're watching this, I'm sure there's many of you in my videos as well. Let me know down below in the comments what you think about this transfer, because for me, and as much as I am, as I said, and as I am trying to be unbiased, I just think this is not the right signing for this kind of money. This is an 80 million signing for a player that, in my opinion, is just good. He's not a superstar. He's not ready-made. He for sure isn't a goal scorer. And if you look at his last UCL campaign, great. I think he had, in about 12 games, he had 10 goals. Or 10 games, 12 goals, something like that. Which is a great record for Anthony Gordon. But if you look at the games that the goals were scored in, he's not, playing against superstars and teams that are properly set up in the UCL and in the Premier League. As we are going to look at his stats, they are not the greatest as well. Now, of course, the pressing is great. I think the style of Hansi Flick will suit Anthony Gordon really, really well. On the ball, he isn't particularly, taking on his man too much. He is a pace merchant, I would say. And his finishing is not the worst. I wouldn't say it's the best either. He has, a lot of fouls, a lot of possessions won for his position as well. But once again, I'm saying all of these things. I can't bring myself to say that Anthony Gordon for 80 million to Barcelona after the season he has just had is a fair price. If this said 50 million, maybe even 60, I would have said, you know what? The market is the market. You gotta do what you have to do in this day and age. People are going for 90 million that are even worse than Gordon. I'm not saying this is the worst transfer of all time, of course. But maybe I'm just not, accustomed to this type of market, because I think 5 years ago, you could have bought Anthony Gordon in this Anthony Gordon, you could have bought him for 25 million. And 10 years ago, this guy would have been going for 15 million and would have been sitting on the bench at, I don't know, a mediocre club in the Premier League. I might just be, nostalgic and being biased to the nostalgia, but I think Willian is a better player than him. I think Pedro is a better player than him. I think flipping who else? I think Payet is a better player than him. I think people just that were okay and good wingers. I'm not saying Pedro was okay and these guys were just okay, but I just see, back in the day, they were just okay in the Prem. They were not the best players. That was Sanchez, Hazard, Salah, Mane, and then there were the Willian and I don't see it with Gordon. I don't see him being this exciting player. I don't see him being a Barcelona player. I see him being, the type of player that Hansi Flick wants to play. That is, of course. He presses a lot. He likes to play higher up. He's so fast for the counter as well. And if they want the ball back, he's quick to get in behind, which is, I think, great. Once again, 80 million is too much for me. And if you know, Lias Bouzidi, one of the best content creators, in my opinion, in this day and age, a Manchester United fan. So he is a little bit more, has more insight, to the Premier League player, Anthony Gordon. I seriously don't understand modern football. To earn a big money move to a club like Barcelona in the past, it really felt like you have to have put in serious work. And of course, this is... like people are saying, oh, Anthony Gordon is a great player and this is that. You have to look at the market. I think he's looking at the market, and I still understand his point. I think he's looking at the player, how he is supposed to look at him. I think he's unbiased, but players like even Manchester United players, Mbemo, Cunha, are they really worth 70 million, 80 million? Because Anthony Gordon, guys, has gone from Everton to Preston, then back to Everton, and then to Newcastle, where, Newcastle, I would have said, he really has gone up a lot in his, development. And his value has always been around the 40-50 million mark. It has been going up since, the World Cup year has been announced. And, he's been getting more into the England teams. And he's been getting those UCL goals especially. That's what his value is based on the most, I think. Because in the Premier League, he has started 24 matches, has gotten 1 red card, 3 yellows, and has 2 assists and 6 goals in 26 matches and 24 starts. I'm not gonna lie, I think you can get a better player for 80 million. I think you can get a better winger. I think you can get a better defender, better midfielder, and a better striker. And is the biggest problem at Barcelona the left winger spot? Are they gonna sell Rafinha now? This is a big question as well, but I'm not gonna put too much thought into Rafinha now. But I just think you need defenders more. Your attack is sorted. You have one of the best attacks, even with Ferran Torres, even with Lewandowski now. But I would have said, maybe go for a striker. Lewandowski is leaving, but are they gonna sell Rafinha? I don't know how it works and how it makes sense. But maybe they are gonna splash the cash. And I said I'm being unbiased. If they are gonna splash the cash on many players and spend over 250 million, this might be a good signing. He might come out as a pressing demon, and they might play a similar style to that Mane and Salah on the wings, which Lamine Yamal, of course, is not gonna be pressing that much. They need to be having a striker that presses way more. But if he is that for them, and he scores more goals in La Liga and helps them in the UCL a little bit, because he is, a good player in the UCL since this season has gone by, and he has gotten a lot of goals in the UCL, which I will, respect. I still don't see it, guys. I would have rather spent my money elsewhere. On a defender, and they saying I don't want Bastoni and midfielders. Some of them might be going out. What is this Frankie De Jong situation? Is Casado good enough? How is it gonna look like in the attack with the striker? Is Ferran Torres gonna be there? Are you gonna bring somebody back? Are you maybe counting on the academy? You can let me know down below, but from the facts and the information that we have so far, and from what we have seen from this team doesn't need a left winger for 80 million euros. They need a defender or a defensive-minded, fullback, defensive-minded, a defensive-minded 6. I don't think a left winger is the number 1 priority. Signing him in May. The season finished 4 days ago. You're not, what if he has a trash World Cup? I know you're probably thinking, oh, let me buy him before. But, oh my goodness, he is 80 million, guys, before the World Cup. What if he now has a good World Cup on the other hand? And, his price is now supposed to be 100 million. What is the market truly about? Like, is it just, I know inflation and this and that, but are players just going around on what they can be at the club. Like Hansi Flick can't be looking at Anthony Gordon. Oh yeah, this is the guy. Even if we look at his chances creation and how he fares in the top 5 leagues in the last 365 days, is this an 80 million winger? Is this the number one priority that you should be signing? This is your first signings after once again losing out on the UCL, and yes, having a great league season for sure. But you want to win the Champions League. He has 39% chances created, which is, yes, maybe he can get better. 7% defensive contributions. Once again, this is a skewed stat. I think he presses well. I think Newcastle just don't win the ball high up enough because they are just a bad team this season. But touches, 29%. Shot attempts, 82%. I don't see a winger that is 80 million worth, and can they get a better winger outside? Maybe even like Iliman Ndiaye. How much would he be? I don't know who's even playing for West Ham. Is Somerville on the same level as Gordon? Am I just being like dumb? Is Leao for like 50 million not better than Anthony Gordon? How much is Yildiz these days on the market as a 10? And I'm looking at just the players that can play wingers or in the attack. Why not look at defenders for 80 million? Guys, for 80 million, you can basically get any defender that is actually available. They could have gotten, I don't know, Gvardiol. They could have gotten some young talent, maybe Vuskovic and even somebody else. I don't understand this signing. And let's look at Gordon's stats like all throughout the season, okay? If we look at the Premier League, as I said already, he has gotten 1,800 minutes in the Premier League. I think, one of his best traits is that he's so fast. He shoots a lot. As we can see, he has a lot of chances missed, yes, but he does shoot a lot. He gets into those chances a lot. He has, he has that, not strikers, but like, it is just that striker instinct, because I think he is that, like a left forward. I wouldn't call him a left winger, more so, but he doesn't create enough chances. He has 0.2 goals per game, and he just doesn't seem like a Barcelona type of winger. 80 million, guys, is just crazy to me. And we are going to compare him. Of course, one more time, I'm going to mention, yes, the Champions League this season for Gordon has been sensational. He has 10 goals in 9 matches started and 12 matches played, which is sensational. Those games came against Leverkusen, PSV, PSG stinker, Barcelona stinker, Karabakh, and Karabakh again. I mean, guys, is this the greatest campaign of all time? This was a great game. Benfica, Bilbao, Marseille. I don't see it, guys. Maybe I'm just being a little bit of a hater. But let's compare Gordon to a guy that is actually at Barcelona already, Marcus Rashford. They are basically the same player. If we just remove Rashford, okay? If we remove Rashford from here, these are Gordon stats. On the this is just a scale, of SofaScore. I'm not basing my whole opinion on these players on how they fare in a football game. I think Gordon is a better player right now than Rashford, but look at the similarities. And if we look at the price of Rashford, which would be around 30-40 million maybe, Rashford is even better in almost everything than Anthony Gordon. And they are so similar. And they do the similar things on the pitch. And I think Rashford is actually more talented in finishing and can actually be a better player than Anthony Gordon. That's just my opinion. I just think Rashford is a better player overall. He has more ability. He's more talented. And of course, Gordon might be younger and he might be coming off a better season. But for 80 million, the difference is 50 million between those guys. Can you see a 50 million difference in Anthony Gordon and Marcus Rashford? And that's where I'm going to end this video. I think I just don't see that much of a difference in these two players that that it warrants to spend 50 million more on Anthony Gordon. I think he's going to do great things in Liga. I think he's going to be okay in the UCL, but I don't think he's going to make the absolute difference in attack for Barcelona. And this is not the right signing for Barcelona. this season. If they're gonna spend so much money, they will shut me up and they will buy defenders, midfielders as well, maybe even a backup striker for Ferran Torres or even a starter for sure. But the way Barcelona move in the last few windows, I don't know. They just got, you know, the one-on-one rule. They can spend money now. So let's see. But is Anthony Gordon for 80 million worth it when you could have gotten Rashford for 30 million? And you still have Rafinha. I don't know what's going to happen to him. But let me know down below. Is Anthony Gordon really worth it? Thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.